Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College Application and Web Development, or AWD1111.net framework with web databases class, I have been going over our class textbook, which is ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS. I am about halfway through with Chapter 2, and I'm up to where I want to right-click on the controllers, add a controller that I'm going to use for products. So let's go in and do that. We just added our controller for our categories, and there it is. So I'm going to right mouse click, add controller. On figure 2-8 on page 30, it shows us what we're going to need to do. This will be another MVC controller with views, updates, etc. using the entity framework. So add, and we're shown here that this should say product. Alright, our store class will remain the same. This stuff is fine, and we'll want that to be products. Now, as mentioned in the book, and we just went over the category stuff here for the categories controller. Now we're creating the products controller, and there that is. So there's all of our stuff for the products controller. But as the author mentions in the book here, the products controller and the associated views are very similar to the categories class, so they're not going to be covered in detail. However, there's one new piece of functionality to cover. The application needs to provide a way to associate a product with a category, and it does this by rendering a select statement so that the users can pick a category from a list when creating a product. In the controller, the new code responsible for this is found in both versions of the edit methods, as well as in the post version of the create method. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just grab this, because that's where everything, what it is and where it is. So let's come in here into our code, and let's bring up the edit method that's here. And in fact, not here. Let's see. We want the, yeah, I guess we do want that. All right. I'm just going to put a comment up at the top here. So it says here it's found in both versions of the edit method, so I actually think I put this in the wrong place. What I mean is I'm going to grab this from out of here, and I'm going to go back up to the controller for my products, and I'm going to find the edit method. There's details, there's create, there's edit. I think I'm just going to paste it right here. Well, that isn't good. How did I lose that? That isn't good. Nope, somehow I lost it. So let's go back and see if it's still inside of here. It is. Now this is not going to look right, so I'm going to have to change this to this. All right, so and it may look a little funky the way I did it, but that's the way I did it. So we've got that in there. All right. And the author does talk about, in the get version of the create method, I think that's up a little higher, but let's double check. So the create, in the create method, all right, we've got this. And the author mentions here, this code assigns an item to a viewBag property named category ID. The item is a select list consisting of all the categories. So in other words, we want to be able, when you put in select lists like this, what you're doing is you're making it harder for the person using the program to screw up. All right. And I'm just going to cut it right there and put this in here. All right, I think that's more than sufficient. All right. We can't expect users to navigate to our new views and enter the URL manually. Again, big difference between a person like you who has training in IT to be able to go in and be able to type in search strings, etc. into URLs, and someone who has no experience doing it. All right, again, because I don't want this lecture to go on and on and on, I am going to just copy this. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I am going to anyway. So let's go to the view shared underscore layout.cs HTML file. So we're in views shared underscore layout.cs HTML file, and the author says below the action link for contact right here, we are supposed to add those two lines for categories and products. All right. Now, that said, okay, let's do this. Let's save all and let's run. And what you'll notice as it comes up here on a random port, no, I forgot to fix that, but now we've got a shop by category and a view all of our products. So this shop by category, let's see if it works. We're eventually, I believe, going to remove the about and the contact because we're not, at least for now, we're not going to be using them. Wow, this is taking a long time. Now, we haven't put any data in yet. Maybe that's why it's taking a long time. I don't know. Oh, we're getting an error. Okay. Argument was unhandled by the code. So there's something in there it doesn't like. Maybe it's because we don't have any data in there yet. I don't know. All right. So I guess I hold off on that. Let's see the comments that I put in here and there. All right. We have put that in though, and you did see it. All right. Again, I'm going to have to change that. To view the new columns, expand the following chain in the Server Object Explorer. So let's see if we can do that. Let's pause for a minute, see if I can get my stuff together. Tell you what I am going to try to do here, and I'm probably going to get an error message again when I run this. All right, but I am going to come in here and see if we run this again, if we get an error message. All right, so what I want to do is I want to be able to come in and view all our products. We don't have any yet, register, etc. Okay, there's home. And that's not going to do anything. And that's not going to do anything. And if I shop by category, since I don't have any categories yet, that's going to screw it up. And since I don't have any products, that probably won't. Yeah, that doesn't show either. Whew. So let's try to do this. Let's go back into this. All right, and instead of at contact, let's see if we can go into categories / create. Or if I'm going to get an error when I do this. And then I'll come in and attempt to add a couple new categories. In fact, in the book, they have clothes, toys, and feeding. Now, am I already getting an error message in here? That's the question. Yes, I am. I'm pinning myself into a corner right here because I'm not able to do anything. I'm going to have to figure out a way around this. So even though this is very early, I'm only about 15 minutes in right here, I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix this. So I will attempt to fix this. See, they talk about, I'm jumping ahead here a little bit, but the author talks about adding a little bit of data. So can I come in here? I want to stop this run. All right. And come in, and I'm going to go into views, and under views I'm concerned with categories. Let's see if we can open the browser there for the create and if it'll allow us to do that. Alright, that's a good start. So I want to put in here for categories, close, create, not supported. Keyword not supported, attach DB file name. Ooh, alright. It's telling me that earlier when I put in keyword attach DB file name, I believe that this is what we put in. Let's double check in our web config file. Right there. Data directory babystore.mdf. It's giving me an error right there. And I believe it is because there is no file in here. Up here, it's not putting it in there. Huh. I will have to investigate this and come back with the next part in just a couple minutes.